The current price of a caramel macchiato, the most popular drink according to the workers of the most famous coffee chain in the whole world, is $6.50 on average, or €6 if you live in the old continent. A tiny fraction of the price that modern quintuple A early access live service AI integrated loot box containing and bug reading games the big studios are releasing nowadays. So, does that mean that you will have to find a fourth job or sell your remaining kidney to be able to relax with a new game in your free time? Well, not yet. Hello, I'm Jay, and I want to show you 4 amazing games that are affordable and fun. But before we get into the first game, I want to explain how I chose these titles. My main qualifier was obviously the price, but I also made it a priority for the game to be from an indie developer and have been released after 2024. Why? Well, because that way I could find games that not everyone had already played on Twitch or reviewed on YouTube. So, without further ado, following the trend of Asian developers creating horror from sim games with engaging and satisfying gameplay loops, this game puts you in the shoes of a young woman that just quit her corporate job to fulfill her lifelong dream of opening her own boba tea shop. The graphics, as with most games of this genre, use low-poly models with simple textures and bright colors, but the use of light in the shop gives the game a really tense and spooky atmosphere. The game is divided into 7 days. Each day you have to fulfill the orders of your clients by choosing the ingredients the recipe calls for, starting only with the basics, black tea, milk and, of course, boba, and unlocking new ones as you go. The really cool thing about this game is that it avoids degrading its spooky elements to the point of being just cheap jump scares, and instead ties them with the gameplay in such a way that elevates both elements. I could keep talking about the customers or the cool and subversive ending, but I believe it is better if you experience it by yourself. You can find this game on Steam for $4.99 and it only took me like 45 minutes to finish it, making it perfect for those nights where you're bored and just want to play something short and sweet. Oh, and if you're a streamer, it is the perfect game for those nights where you just want to chill on stream. This game is my favorite in terms of aesthetics and graphic design. Every level, every room looks so dystopian, so gritty, I love it. You work for a group of shady individuals looking through the memories of their victims with a little device called an earworm, an aggressive-looking needle that gets connected to the brain through the ear, all with the objective of finding the correct answer to the recovery questions of their bank accounts, trying to gain access to all the funds within them. The gameplay is quite simple, but by forcing the player to look for the specific details in the memory, it lets the developer flex their well-developed and veiny design muscles, as well as creating extremely tense and immersive moments. At the end of each mission, you get a grade depending on things like how much time it took you to find the correct answer, how much brain damage you caused the victim, and how many times you inputted the wrong answer on the computer. I don't want to spoil more of this game, but I do want to give you 2 warnings. The music can be a little loud, so have that in mind once you open the game or are about to finish a mission. And there are a lot of flashing lights throughout the game, so if you are prone to having seizures, maybe don't play it alone, or just don't play it at all. That would also work. You can find this gem on Steam for $2.99, and it only took me like 45 minutes to beat all the levels, so again, perfect for when you don't have that much time. This game was only released a few weeks ago, but my god is it good. You are a kid, and while driving back home with your parents, they start arguing again. And you seek refuge from your reality by playing on your game kit, a situation that unfortunately is familiar to a lot of kids. But you soon realize that the game you are playing is affecting reality. And that is not all. A deformed creature is stalking you, waiting for the perfect moment to attack. The game is divided into stages. The first is a 2D map inside your gaming console where you collect items that then get teleported to the car and become available to use around the vehicle while you are hunted by a spider-looking creature. But once you finish the stage, you get to the real gameplay loop. In your game kit, you need to steer the 2D car between 3 lanes and pick up as many petrol cans as possible to fuel up your car, while dodging animals, rocks, and other things. But while you do that in the virtual world, in the real world, the spider creature is now hunting you, and you have to fend it off by looking at the direction where he's trying to enter from, and with the flash of a camera, stun him. The mechanics remind me of the first FNAF games, with the tension of not knowing where the monster is going to come from next. But also, the majestic use of sound elevates the tension so much that after a while, you find yourself in this weird trance-like state of waiting for the next sound cue to react while steering the car. This game seriously achieves so much with so little, and with a hardcore mode, it has more replayability than Starfield. Of course, I'm not going to spoil the ending, so go experience it yourself. The game is only $2.99 on Steam, and one playthrough takes like 40 minutes, so you can either go crazy and finish all the modes in one sitting, or space it out between multiple gaming sessions. Either way, it's an amazing game to play at night when everyone else is asleep and silence takes over the streets. And we have finally arrived at one of the best games I have ever played in my entire life. No, really, this game is so good in so many ways that I basically did this whole video just to recommend it to you people. So yeah, you are a scientist working for a research center in the middle of the Swiss countryside, tasked with gathering and refining signals from space. Sounds kind of boring, right? Oh, believe me, it is the complete opposite. This is basically a huge sandbox, kind of similar to a Gmod game, but way more polished and way more in-depth. Let me use an analogy to better show how well integrated every aspect of the game is to the rest of the experience. If the game was a human... Hold on, yeah, I know, it sounds weird, but hold on, let me cook. If the game was a human, the skeleton of the gameplay would be the 3 machines you use to collect, record, refine, and then store the signals. The meat or muscle are the things that support those machines, like, for example, the satellite dishes that need to be maintained and have a tendency to stop working or to need a reset every now and then. But the organs and brain, arguably the most important part, are the million situations, places, and things you can do, find, or explore while doing those main tasks. Every single corner of the map is filled with tons of mysteries and Easter eggs, and the devs give you the freedom to experiment and figure things out on your own. That, complemented by the in-depth help page the devs wrote to explain every mechanic and every item, make each playthrough a really personal and unique experience. But aside from all that, this game is, at its core, a horror game. And even with all the sandbox elements, you will be reminded of that constantly. The freedom to explore is an amazing way to increase the anxiety you feel at any moment to 100. You could be just mopping the floor, but with so many events and the great sound design, you will feel as if something or someone was constantly stalking you. And who knows, something might be actually stalking you. That's the beauty of this game. Nothing feels like it's out of the question, and that is terrifying. In a way, it reminds me of the feeling I would get when I first played the apartment building section in Silent Hill 2, where nothing was happening, but the atmosphere, sound design, the isolation of being alone, and the gameplay would make your mind become really paranoid and create like a billion possible worst scenarios. Yes, the tension in this game is that good. I legit have no words to describe how much I love this game. And I don't want to spoil anything for you, so if you are still not convinced, go watch this video and you will immediately understand why you have to play this game. You can download the game in its itch.io page. By the way, I'll leave the links for every single game that I talked about in this video down in the description. And best of all, because the game is technically an alpha, you can get it for free. F-R-E-E, no cost. But two things on that. First, if you are thinking, oh great, an early access game, this is gonna suck. No. Although, yes, it is an alpha, the game is infinitely more polished than 98% of all the garbage Ubisoft, EA and Bethesda are releasing these days. And the devs put more effort than all of those companies combined. And second, although you can get it for free, if you end up enjoying the game, then please do consider donating some money to the developers so that they can continue making such good video games. And those are my 4 recommendations of games that cost less than your daily coffee. Of course, I know these games are not a replacement for real coffee, but just take it as a reminder that there are still many amazing works of art and entertainment created by talented and passionate developers that can bring you way more enjoyment than many of the overpriced and underdeveloped slop that most big companies produce nowadays. Also, this is a good invitation to trying out new things, new experiences, new points of view. That sounds really cool to me, no? Not only that, those $2 or $5 you give to these artists will be way more helpful and significant than giving $80 to people that only care about profit. And that's the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I did a good job at piquing your interest for one of these amazing titles. If you made it this far into the video and found yourself enjoying even just a tiny little part of it, then subscribing and hitting the like button would mean the world to me. And if you have any suggestions for games I should try, or just recommendations in general, please write them in the comment section below. I'm usually down there reading what you people have to say, or message me in one of my social media pages. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you later. Bye-bye.